Well, last night I did come back to the model table again. And I did work on this. And it's another one of those kind of frustrating videos, but there is something that I did in editing this morning that you might find of interest. It has to do with the fact that I had badly overexposed one scene that involved this and what I did about it. So if you want to see that, you pretty much got to watch the entire segment from last night. Otherwise you'll miss it. It's not that I'm trying to, entice you into watching it or anything like that. It's just a case of, well, somebody might be interested. What can you do if you badly overexpose a scene like I did? I was going to tell you what I did, but you know what? That'll kind of spoil it. So why don't we just get right into last night and what I did yesterday evening, and then we'll check and see how did these come out here. That is so fragile. I'm going to end up breaking that. Our ladder is back on. But as far as this goes, I think it can be made to work, but not by me. I've come to the conclusion that there are some things that are just too delicate, and this idea I think is really good in the hands of somebody a little bit younger, maybe. I don't know what to say. I was able to get the ladder back on. I didn't have a problem with that, but in my head says yes, you can do it, but my fingers say no, you can't. So either that, or maybe I'm not quite going about it right. Let's just move on here. Let's see if we can maybe drop our antennas down on the end of the... I'll reposition everything and we'll move in, and that shouldn't be too hard. Okay, we want the one that has the largest hole. I don't think it matters which way it goes up. All right. That is basically correct. Do we go ahead and just put a little bit of CA on it? And where's my applicator here? We should have a moment or two to straighten it around. Well, I'm going to lose my moment or two if I don't hurry up here. This is not going as easy as I thought. There we go. that's pretty much it. I think that in the event that it's off just a little bit, we'll be able to bend these things afterwards. But do I need to reinforce it? Maybe I should stick on the macro lens. Now here is where I've made two mistakes. First mistake is I've got a dark background, in other words the inside of that tin can, and a very light foreground, which is very small, that the camera really isn't, the light meter in the camera really isn't reading that. It's basically reading the dark background. So consequently our subject is very overexposed. Now I will try to adjust this, but you know, if something is completely washed out... We're just doing a dry run here. Just let me turn my volume down. Okay, now I can hear myself think. If the subject is completely washed out, and there's no data there to darken, it's sort of like trying to multiply zero. No matter how many times you multiply it, it still stays zero, and that's what we got going on here. So I'm just gonna pause this. Okay, we are paused. Now what I'm going to try to do is split the scene right here. Okay, this blue that you see, that's what we're going to be working on. Now I'm going to try and go ahead here to where this ends. I got to find it. Because basically this entire segment is overexposed. So I'm going to just try and get to the end of it here. Now you'll notice where my finger there has come into the scene. It has caused the lens to close down a bit, and it's not so terribly overexposed. But let's get to the end here. Let's just darken this entire scene here. Oh, that's a little bit too far. All right, there it is. So, and I'm going to split it there. Okay, now this whole section here that is blue, we're going to try and darken this. So let's go into here, over here it says Fix Enhance. Okay, then I can go up here into Adjust Color. Now I've already been in it, as you can see, because it was checked off. But up here where it says Exposure, now this only helps a little bit. So let's take it down. Let's take it down to about 50% or so, or at least to a. It says 50. I don't know if that means percent or not. Well, actually, it says 51, but I mean, we're splitting hairs here. I can change it to 50. There, you happy now? Okay, so now this entire scene has been darkened. Now that means that the places where my fingers were in it, like where is it, right there? It might be a little bit too dark, but that's all right. Let's just leave it like that. Yeah. Okay, we'll carry on here. I was afraid it was going to stick to my tweezer there for a minute. Now I have to be careful where I put the tweezer, because as you can probably see better than I can, there is CA along this right there where I'm almost going to touch. I think it is to go down a little on this end. Keep slowly going back. Well, where's my little rubber hose? Now it's getting twisted. Okay, we'll see if it'll stay like that for a while. Now the temptation is to, to poke at it to see if it's cured or not. But I'm noticing that it's sort of slumped forward. I don't know if I can. Okay, that's better. And it's pretty much straight this way. At least it's parallel more or less. Okay, well, let's see how that is in the morning. So, but the best we can do. See you in the morning. Well, it is morning. And I'm sure all RCA is cured. I'm not going to even try to straighten something, at least not right now. Because as I mentioned, it's probably when I'm doing the rigging, I'm going to be catching easy line on stuff and bending it slightly. And oh my goodness, this is just unbelievably fragile. Anyway, I think that the only thing left to do is we have to put a little part on. I think it's called a D3. Yeah, D3. And it goes right here in this ring. And I think that the ring, if I check the manual, it looks like it has to be bent down at about a 45-degree angle so that the D3 comes out at an angle. I don't think it goes straight up. Anyway, let's work on that, and then I think that this top section of step 58 is done. Yeah. And here is our D3. Another little tiny fragile part. Now, this little round thing right here, that is not flashing. That is supposed to represent a pulley. Now, it's possible that part is, no, I don't think so. I think that's supposed to represent something as well, so I'm just going to leave that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the excess flashing that is going to stay on. Kind of shaky this morning. There. Okay, Let's clean that up very carefully. Now, you know my saying about if it looks good at arm's length, it's good enough. Well, right now we're at finger length. Now I know that at finger length, yes, we can see that there is still flashing in places here. But I'm just going to leave well enough alone here, because if I try and scrape that, you know, that where it's been molded, why did I stop poking at it for a moment? I can't. Anyway, yeah, we're just going to leave well enough alone here. If it looks good at finger length, quit. Okay. Should it go a little bit more, maybe? Well, here's another case of where I never checked the monitor. And right in behind, there was a whole bunch of busyness that shouldn't have been there. But I think you probably still saw it. Okay, I realize that this thing has to be turned a few degrees. Not like that. Okay. Yeah, so that this pulley is pointing down. Okay, now, but it is, the whole thing is too horizontal. It should be more up. So I think what's happened is I may have bent the little bracket too far out. Oh, the reason I'm saying this is because I checked Stephen Drabinski's book, and in his book he's got this thing from a side profile. It's at a 45-degree angle straight up, which is the way I'm holding it right now. It may not look like that in your perspective. Oh, there, now it's staying like it's supposed to. Okay, if I was to get a little bit of CA thin, maybe right there on the joint, could we get it to stay that way? I don't know why not. Sorry about my finger. Oh, goodness sakes. That rattling you hear is my neighbor bringing their garbage container back up to the house. I got my windows open. Okay, it'll probably stay in there a lot better once I get some CA on there. It's almost at the right angle. Oh, interestingly, this antenna array is not drawn in Stephen's book. So this was, I think, Steve from the model shed made some sort of reference to that these were put on towards the end of the life of the hood. Okay, where is my applicator? Okay, once I get this on here, the die is pretty well cast. Now I don't need a whole bunch. Well, that's not exactly where I wanted it. Okay, let's see if we can raise this up now just a little bit and swing it a little bit towards you. just doesn't want to stay there. Maybe I should have bent that little flange up. Where's my rubber hose here? I should have the macro lens on. What's the matter with me? Oh well. Too late now. There we go. I'll just give that a couple of minutes, and then I'll maybe reinforce it a little bit, because it looks like it's pretty sparse there. Okay, probably about 5 minutes has passed here since we recomposed. Maybe if I brought it up from the bottom instead of trying to drop it from the top, will it wick its way around like it's supposed to? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Okay, let's quit while we're ahead. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you in. We're going to take a quick look at this. Once around, I'm going to find a safe place to put it, and then we're going to move on. Okay, I realize that maybe this is not centered as well as it could be, but it's giving you the idea. Okay, we have to make up some little parts that represent some kind of a pulley that in all likelihood is going to later on have a line running around it. So I guess it has to be made carefully, right? And it's going to be made up out of little tiny pieces of photo etch. And the pulley itself, of course, will be plastic. And then it goes on our D10 here, which is clearly this piece right here. You can see the brackets on here that it's going to be mounted on. But you know, what do we got here? 7 minutes after 2 already. And you know what happens Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I gotta cut it off just a little bit early and make sure that I'm ready for my neighbor's coffee break. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it off for today. So thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.